A very good day to all. Our today's topic is the third lesson, Two Stories of Flying. This third lesson is divided into two parts. First part is all about young seagull. Young seagull. Seagull is nothing but a bird. And the second story is all about pilot who got struck in a storm. The first story, first, you should be mindful about the setting of the story and characters in the story. Setting, where did the story take place? The story has taken place on the hilltop, the top of the hill. And characters, the main character of the story is young seagull. He has parents, father and mother. He has two brothers and one sister. And young seagull is also a male bird. I have written 12 to 13 key points from the lesson. So you just prepare these key points, whatsoever the question given from wheresoever the part of the lesson, you should be able to develop the story based on these key points. This key point is, I am not saying the key points are just enough to write the answers, but these key points are the source for developing your whole answer. Got my point? Now, the first point is, young seagull who was afraid to take his first flight because he feared that his wings would not support him. So the starting line itself is started with young seagull and his condition to take his first flight. It is a general tendency of the birds. The birds fly and hunt and feed themselves. But here the young seagull was afraid of flying. He did not take his first flight ever since he was born. And why was he unable to fly? Because of fear. He was scared that his wings are not big enough to support him. The next point, all his siblings took the plunge to fly fearlessly in the open air despite having shorter wingspan than him. So finally, what is the condition of his siblings? All his siblings started taking plunge and they are flying like anything. Actually, what was their physical structure? Compared to the young seagull, their wings are little shorter, but they were able to fly. But the young seagull, out of fear, it was not able to fly. A third point, whenever he tried to come forward towards the brink of the ledge while attempting to fly, he became afraid and went back. So, did he try earlier? Yes, he tried earlier, but he did not take a plunge. He was just walking till the brick in the sense actually to the edge of the ledge. And out of fear, again he was going back. That's what the exercise going on. It was coming forward, getting to the edge to fly, but again getting back. His parents threatened him that unless he flew away, he would have to starve. But it is of no use. So parents threatened him that unless you fly away, you will starve to die. That is what the parents threatened. Was it of any use? It was of no use. One fine day, the whole family flew to a big plateau and taunted the young seagull for his cowardice. So what happened? One fine day, the whole family decided to teach a lesson to this young seagull, and they flew away to a plateau and started mocking at the young seagull for his cowardice. Next slide. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and sister have already flown away, but seagull could not because of fear. So what was his fault? He was left alone on the ledge of the hill alone, and it was scorching in the hot sun. What was the condition of other siblings? His two brothers and sister, they were flying and soaring in the sky like anything. His father and mother threatened that if he did not fly, he would die. So what did his father and mother tell him? His father and mother suggested or threatened, even cautioned him, if he did not fly, he would die. But seagull's mother finally, as a parents always wanted their children to become successful by standing on their own feet. They wanted to be individuals of their own decisions. They wanted their children to be good citizens in the society. That is how their expectations were. And to meet their expectations, they would do everything. They do everything. Now, the same thing has been done by seagull's mother, but not directly, indirectly. What did she do? Seagull's mother tore a piece of fish. Actually, seagull's mother bought a fish, tore a piece of fish in front of young seagull. Seagull, by that time, it was already hungry for one day. And the sight of food made seagull mad as he was hungry for one day. So by seeing the sight of food, seagull became mad and it was awaiting for the food expectantly. Mother flew closer but did not feed food. This made seagull more angry. So finally what happened? The mother, young seagull, was expectantly looking for the food from the mother seagull. Mother seagull flew very near to young seagull, but mother seagull did not feed food. It flew over young seagull, not feeding the food. This trait of his mother made young seagull more angry. He was so mad that he dived at the fish. He fell upwards and downwards into space. Finally, out of frustration, out of madness, out of hunger, what did it do? It jumped into the air. It dived into the air at that fish. And he fell upwards and downwards into the space. Space in the sense air. Great fear caught him. His heart stood still. That is only for a moment. Great fear caught him. So all of a sudden it feared like anything. Great fear caught him. But that fear lasted only for a moment. The next moment, it was a surprise. What happened with the next moment? The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards and wind rushed against his breast feathers. So the very next moment, the young seagull, which was in the space, it could feel his wings got stretched, flapping downwards and upwards, and the wind is rushing against his breast feather. It is doing nothing but flying, soaring in the sky like anything, like any other bird. The next moment he was soaring, saying ga, 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 and saw his father, mother, brothers and sister diving along with her joyously in the sky. So the very next moment when it was soaring, all the parents, what the parents were expecting, young seagull to fly. That was the thing happened. Out of happiness, even the parents and sisters and brothers, all the siblings joined young seagull. They were flying in the sky, making the sound ga, ga, ga. And the very next moment, what happened? After flying for some time, it landed in green sea. When it was landed in green sea, it was sinking into the sea. It got tired and it was about to sink. And again, it flapped its wings and started soaring upwards into the sky along with his mother. This is how young seagull learned soaring high in the sky. This is the first lesson, first story. And the second story is all about the author. The author is a pilot. The setting of the story is not constant. When the story starts, it starts in Paris. From Paris, it goes to England. So this is the story setting. How many characters are there? Only two important characters. One is the pilot, another one is second pilot, and the third minute character is a woman who sits in control room. Now, very short story, let me explain briefly. The author was flying his Dakota aeroplane at 1 o'clock at night over France back to England. So the starting of the story, he just revealed what is happening in the story. The author was flying to England. In what? He was flying to England in a flight. What was the flight's name? The flight's name was Dakota. So at what time? At 1 o'clock at night. Understand? Now, he was dreaming of his holiday with his family at breakfast time and called Paris Control and told that he was back to England. Actually, he was very eager to go to England and to be with his family by the breakfast time. So he informed the same thing to the control room and he started. Okay, everything was going well. Paris was 150 kilometers behind him. Then he saw the storm clouds. So how was the condition? Everything is fine. He is going back to England, and the place he started, the Paris, was just 150 kilometers behind him, and he is going towards the England. Then he saw the storm clouds. Every story has a conflict. Here in the story, the conflict arises here when he saw the storm clouds. Now, he knew that he could not fly up over them and didn't understand what to do. So finally, he was very sure, having seen those clouds, he came to know that it was impossible for him to fly through the clouds. But he did not understand what to do. Next, what happened? See, though he wanted to go back to Paris, he took a risk and flew into the storm. So it was very easy for him to go back to Paris and simply avoid the risk. But he took the risk and flew into the storm. Next, what happened? He could see nothing outside and the aeroplane jumped and twisted. Finally, he got penetrated into the clouds and he was unable to see anything except darkness. The flight started twisting and jumping. Now what happened? He looked at compass, it's gone. He tried to contact Paris control, didn't work, and lost in storm. So finally, he just wanted to check the direction, the compass, the mechanical device that shows the direction, that is called the compass, with a needle, with the help of needle. It was not working. And he tried to contact the Paris control room. It did not work, and he was totally lost in storm, in the clouds and storm. Then he saw another aeroplane without lights on its wings. The author felt glad to see another person in that plane. That pilot signaled the author to follow him. So what happened? There was magically something happened with author. What was it? There was another flight beside him in the sky, and then the author's heart started beating back, and he felt very glad that he could see another pilot in another plane. How was the plane? The plane has got no lights on its wings, and the pilot signaled him to follow him. Then suddenly he realized, actually when he started feeling happy about another flight and another pilot along with him, adding fuel to fire, his joyousness and happiness got vanished, because he realized that fuel would last only for 5 to 10 minutes, and started feeling frightened. Again, he started feeling frightened. The fuel left in the flight is it could last only for 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. So again, he got depressed. And then he started to go down and found his plane on the runway. By that time, Bharat was again frightened, afraid and scared of the consequences he has to face because the fuel was running out. Miraculously, his flight started going down and he found himself on the runway. And next what happened? He wanted to thank his friend in black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. So soon after getting down from the plane, what was his first and foremost attempt? He wanted to go to that person and thank the pilot. Then he went into the control room and asked, where was that another pilot? So finally, he went into the control room and asked, ma'am, where was that another pilot who came along with me, who signaled me and who directed me to land safely? Where was he? Then the woman smiled and said, there was no other plane except yours. The woman gave a shocking reply that there was no other plane except yours. Author was astonished and contemplated who was that person helped when he was without compass and radio in the plane. So then author started thinking, who was that other person traveled with me when my compass was not working? I could not able to control the Paris control board. I was able to do nothing outside the total darkness. Who was the person who came and guided me and saved me? Who was that person? So that is the conclusion. That is the ending of the story. This is lesson 3, the 2 stories of flying. You just make a note of all the important points and show it to me tomorrow.